Welcome to the StiGMaToPiA Hub info video. So this map is all about the StiGMaToPiA Hub map, which is an exclusive map made by the owner of the server, which is me. So if the community asks for updates, maybe we will see changes to this map in the future, but it has mostly everything that we need. So there might not be changes, but maybe if you guys pressure me to make changes, it's possible. So as we see here, first of all, the map is like the island image, so the map is no good. You can't uh, rely on the map image, but the spawns here do function. So I recommend you spawn either on the main island, the resource island, the Dodo Island, or the PvP arena. So all these island 1 through 10, they're tribe islands. So if the island is claimed and you spawn on one of those, there's a high chance that there's turrets or dinos waiting for you, and you're unlikely going to survive unless it's your island. So make sure to only spawn on these islands here if you're 100% sure the island is clear or owned by you. So don't spawn on these if you have stuff, you're going to lose all your stuff. The other spawns are supposed to be safe. If they're not safe, you can open up a ticket in the Discord and let us know, and we'll make sure to clear up the spot so it's safe to spawn on. So one of these are where you want to spawn. So I'm going to show the different locations. I'm going to use spectator mode so we can get around quickly. This raft here is a relic of the past, was made a very long time ago, and you can't make rafts. This is owned by the admins. When you spawn on this island, you're going to see a red bubble. In spectator, you don't see that, but there's a red bubble here, and inside the red bubble just means that it's protected structures. So the admins have an admin bubble that completely, oh, there you go, it actually loaded in. So inside of these bubbles on any map is admin structures are indestructible. So that's very important to understand. Otherwise, this main island, so if you spawn on the main center island, you have access to this transmitter. You can use it for dino scan or for transferring in or out of the map, but there's many obelisks. It's not the only way out of the map. So you want to go up this path here on the side. You run up here. There's signs. You come up here. And this is an admin station. The turrets are on wild dinos, so you don't have to be scared. Nothing's going to kill you here. This is public. You can come over here. This is all public stuff that you can use. You can use the Tech Forge, the Replicator, the Forge. There are free eggs, RG, PTs, and Featherlight eggs that you can grab. Don't be greedy. Just grab a few that you're actually going to use. Leave some for the others. Um, and yeah, there's a little farm here and some example kits that could be purchased in the shop. You can buy this advanced kit. It's just an example build of it. Let's move along. So this island over here is the Dodo Island. So if you spawn on the Dodo Island, this is where you're going to spawn, somewhere on here. This is just simple resources, trees, a little bit of metal, a little bit of rock, crystal, obsidian. There are a lot of dodos, so get you started. Easy dinos, parasaurs. There are crystal wyverns, so these aren't aggressive unless you attack them first. You can tame those using crystal. Then you got this island over here, Resource Island. Got some wood, a lot more metal. You got some crystal nodes. If you go at the very top of this island, there's a lot of metal. A lot of obsidian, there's mushrooms, there's trees. The drops on this map, so all across this map are really high level drops. So if you've ever played Aberration, the surface drops, this is what you get here. It's surface level, Aberration level surface drops, so there are really good drops. Crystal. If If you go in the very back of the island, of this resource island, you're going to see there's this area with a lot of crystal, white crystal. And down here we have a few oil nodes. So there's just a few land oil nodes if you want some easy nodes that are accessible. Carcinos that you can kill for Shidden or Kaiden or whatever you call it. I'm never sure. I'm French, so I'm sorry if I don't pronounce stuff perfectly. If you go down here, so if you go on this side of the resource island, you go in the water, there's a bunch more Carcinos. You can use a Moza, eat these guys up, get a lot of chitin or shitten or whatever you want to call it. uh, then you got the oil nodes, and you have silica. So you can use an angular fish, eat those up. You'll get a ton of silica. Let's get back up here. If you go down in this area, there are more oil nodes. Just a few, not a ton, but there's a few here. More silica. The bottom of the Dodo Island. If we keep going this way, this is the Arena Island. So on the main spawn where you have the spawns, there's 4 different spawns. So each corner has a spawn. And the top of the island, you have a bunch of big dinos for meat running. So get a lot of raw meat, hide. If you go at the bottom of this island, there's a lot more oil and silica all around this island. So this is like the core place. This is where there's the most oil and silica, is around the bottom of this island here. We have these admin structures. So from the main island, you can walk or run, whatever you want, to this arena island. And if you go to this corner here, I'm just going to quickly show you. This corner here is going to be very laggy. There's a tower with 100 floors for an event. I might make a video explaining a little bit more about this tower. I don't want to go too much into detail, but this might be a future event. But yeah, otherwise, if you're in this area, it might be very laggy. Just to keep it simple and quick, it's a tower full of loot. PvP, you gotta fight your way up and down the tower and keep your loot. But yeah, I'll have a video with more info about that. So yeah, there's 2 floating islands, so that's the next 2 attractions I want to show. So there's the lower floating island. So the lower floating island, I would say, is mainly for wood. There's a lot of trees. If you go around here, you can use a theory or a beaver to farm for trees. As you can see, there's a lot. There's a little bit of rock, berries, and there's all the ab gems. So the green, blue, and red gems can be found on this island. There's all 3. There's polymer plants. So you can use a whip to whip these up. And Stegos are good. I'm not too sure the best dino to pick up polymer plants, but there's a dino that you can get a good rate for those, and there's a lot of metal nodes. So all this is metal pretty much. These nodes here are element ore, but they're also metal, so you can farm these for metal and element ore. And in between these trenches, you have silica and black pearls. Easy black pearls, very easy, but you got to be careful. There's rock drakes in the area, so that's another feature of this lower floating island. There are 2 rock drake nests, so right here and right here. If you grab an egg, expect the rock drakes to hunt you down. They're all over this area, so that's the lower floating island. Then you got the upper floating island. So the upper floating island has a lot of stone on the outer edge. So if you go all around the island, you'll see there's a lot of stone. So this is pretty much the best area for stone farming. And if you go a little bit farther in, you got sulfur. So sulfur all around on the inner edge. That's if you want sulfur. There's a giga spawn in this area here. So if you are looking for a high level giga, they spawn here. It's the Gen 2 variants that spawn. See, there's one right there. There's trees. There's quite a bit of trees, but there's more. I'd say there's more on that lower island, but you could farm trees here. There's Rex spawns up here. There's mana spawns. There's Velo spawns. There's a bunch of dinos. A lot of polymer plants across the inner area. There's a trench in here, and all around the outside of this trench, there's a lot of polymer, a lot of white crystal. On the top edge of this trench, there's more stone. There's more polymer, a lot of stone, a lot of metal. You got some bones. And the main attraction of this map is this inner pit. So the inner pit has these red crystals and the element crystals. The red crystals are element shards. The little shards are also element shards. So this is basically where you want to farm your element. There is a limited amount. It's not like Gen 2 space biome. It doesn't have as much as the space biome, but it still has quite a bit. You have to be careful. A lot of reapers, magmas, but as you can see, there is a lot of crystals, a lot of bones. Players do have turrets. These turrets are on wild dinos. If you have any turrets that are attacking players, you can open up a ticket and let us know. Players aren't supposed to have on players. You are allowed to put them on players if you're actively farming. If you're here and you're farming, you can put them on players to protect yourself, but as soon as you leave or before you leave, you got to put them back on wild dinos. If ever we catch any of these turrets on players and you're not actively here, we will wipe your whole little base. So if you don't want to lose your little base that you got set up, make sure that they're not on players. In here, there are black pearls, there's these mushrooms, and in the center, there's ambergris. So if you need ambergris, there's a lot of it in here. You got more drops. And I think I've done a pretty... Okay, so that's the main rundown of all the resources. You can use the slash upload command to upload element from this map to like the cluster between maps. So you do slash upload when you're near one of the obelisks or one of the transmitters, and then you do slash download when you go onto one of the maps. So the resource islands are no build. You're allowed to make teleporter stations on the floating islands as long as they don't break spawns and as long as there's not too many. Admins will clear those up if there's too many. These outer islands are tribe islands, so you're allowed to pick one of these and build on them. These are where you're allowed to build. The inner islands, you are not allowed to build. So that's the rule for this map. You're allowed to make your own island, so if all the islands are already taken and you can't have an island, this one seems to be clear, so you can build here. But if they're all taken when you get here, you can make your own island. So maybe pick an area on the outside or wherever, make yourself some floating ocean platforms. You can make a base underwater, but I don't recommend because of the ini file. People can easily find the underwater ones. You can use a Quetzal to make a flying base as well. That's also an option. Um, I think that covers everything. I need to keep this video as short as possible, so I think I'm going to cut it there. If there's any extra info, well, they'll be in the description or in the comments section. So make sure to like and subscribe this video, and check out our other videos if you need to learn more about the cluster. We'll have some more videos to show you everything that this cluster has to offer. Yeah, thanks for your time, guys, and have some fun.